has denied Oscar Pistorius' leave to appeal his murder conviction. This means he will be sentenced by the High Court for murder next month. The Constitutional Court found the defence had no reasonable grounds of success on appeal. Pistorius was convicted of killing his girlfriend Reeva Steenkamp on Valentine's Day in 2013. But the state opposed his appeal at the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein. Earlier, the state said they would ask the court to impose a minimum 15 years sentence on him. Let's cross now to the SABC's Manqoba Mchunu, who covered the court case. Good evening to you, Manqoba. What can you tell us, or what does this all mean?
Well, certainly, this certainly means that now the state can go ahead with starting sentencing procedures against Oscar Pistorius. You remember that the Supreme Court of Appeal overturned that earlier conviction of culpable homicide in December. And therefore, what we're waiting for really is that now this new application to the Constitutional Court was going to either take place or not happen. We know that the court proceedings have been postponed to April, and therefore we're expecting now that the state will go ahead to try and give Oscar Pistorius new sentencing in this particular matter. And we know certainly that a date would be set then in the next court appearance to try and have a sentencing argument for Oscar Pistorius so that his new sentencing can come into effect.
On what grounds was he trying to take this to the highest court in the land?
Well, you remember that Oscar Pistorius had argued that he did not receive a fair trial. Those are some of the grounds that he was hoping to take to the Constitutional Court, saying that the media hype around the case and that you recall certainly that Judge Thokozile Masipa did allude to the fact that Oscar Pistorius was not the best of witnesses on the stand, and that he certainly was a poor witness on the stand. And Oscar Pistorius' lawyers were hoping to use that to say that the media hype, as well as the fact that it was carried live on television, those are some of the grounds that actually led to Oscar Pistorius not receiving a fair trial. So this was the last option that they were really hoping to try and keep Oscar Pistorius out of staying in jail for a long time. But certainly this means that now all their options are exhausted as the defense. This was definitely the last option that they had legally, as we know that the Constitutional Court is the highest court in the land where this matter could have gone. Now what this means is that sentencing procedures against his murder conviction can now proceed and go ahead. And certainly it's a blow for Oscar Pistorius' lawyers, but good news certainly for the NPA.
Sentencing procedures, like you said, can go ahead. So could we see Oscar Pistorius going to jail very soon? And what sort of term is he looking at the moment?
Well, certainly what this means is that new sentencing arguments will have to be held now to try and establish a new sentence for him. We do know that in South African law, a conviction of murder carries with it 15 years up to life imprisonment in jail. So definitely what this means is that they have to present new arguments in court to try and find a suitable punishment for Oscar Pistorius. And certainly what we also know is that the defense will have to present different circumstances, or what we call a set of circumstances, to try and maybe argue that Oscar Pistorius should not be given a life sentence. But, I mean, in most cases, if you are found guilty of murder, you face anything from 15 years to life imprisonment. So they'll really have to present a set of circumstances to try and justify why he should not be spending these years in jail. But certainly what it looks like at this stage is that he faces anything from 15 years to life imprisonment.
All right, thank you very much, Manqoba. And just recapping the breaking news this evening, Oscar Pistorius has failed in his attempt to be heard by the highest court in the land. This means that sentencing procedures can go ahead, and he will be sentenced after his culpable homicide conviction was overturned and replaced with a conviction for murder. The North